know why my video went longer, because I always thought it was 27 minutes and 18 seconds. I mean, that's how long I've been away, but I'm pretty sure it went longer. Maybe there's new software. I did not think, I don't get any software in this camera. You know, it's old technology, but you know, like, I'm from the old school, but I love the remote. That's the thing. I love the remote control. And the video jacks to my monitor. You can't get that with a new digital 1080 camera. You can't get a microphone. I can't even get a microphone set up with it, or remote. I think you can get a remote, buy it like extra, but it doesn't come with a camera. I haven't seen one yet. And I know it doesn't have the jack, so I don't know how that works. And this monitor, I have to get another monitor, I guess, HMDI, but I could do that. I don't have a problem having actually have another one that I could use, I believe, one that I'm already using. So anyway, here I'm back. We're going to talk to what I want to talk about, the Halifax Stadium situation, what's been going on, and with Quebec City. And also, let's talk first of all about the new TV deal that I'll give him credit for. Everybody's shitting on Commissioner Johnson. That's why I like to. I wish he would. I wish he would just be not be egotistical or pompous and contact me, so you know, learn something about my rules, so you know all the feature and benefit and all the data. Imagine 18% of an increase of, imagine 50 more touchdowns scored in the red zone, guaranteed my Spyder CFL red zone roll. Come on, that alone, like Steve Harmon said, just in those numbers alone, it sells itself. So, and the 10 key super compelling 10 key super features and benefits for my CFL red zone roll. So many features, and it remarkably still, you know, with my Spyder CFL red zone roll preserves our CFL 3-down game of football. That's another remarkable feature. So many features. So President Johnson, I mean, sorry, I call him President. I thought of his Commissioner. Commissioner Johnson, or Commissioner, out of respect, Mr. Johnson, please contact me, the Spyder. You have my email, you have my phone number. Call me. Let's have a private meeting. You can keep it very discreet. And I want you, and by the way, you finished all this. I know you got a lot on your plate. And maybe that's why you didn't get back to me, because I'll talk about what you've done, which I think is a great thing with Bell. I mean, getting TSN doing 60 games and I believe 6 playoff games, I believe, and the Grey Cup, of course. But there's the zone. I don't even know about these people. I'm sure my son knows about the streaming company. They're in Canada. And I watched Justin Duncan. He had the VP. She's Canadian. She won a bronze medal Olympics. She's the vice president. And so I wonder what the production. Rasmus Danny thinks he's going to get. Look, this guy's a hypocrite. He's a knocker. He's two-faced. He ran the CFL down. They got rid of him. He's desperate. He's on a sports cage sucking up to get a few dollars. And now he thinks he's going to be part of it. Don't bring him in. I hope you're listening to me. Okay, Mrs. Dion, okay, she's the VP of DAZN. Don't get him. No one will watch. You get Rasmus. People don't like him. He's two-faced. You got to get brand new faces. Don't have him there. Don't do it. Okay. I hope you listen to me. So send that to somebody, please, and send comments. But I only allow respectful comments. I don't want these bullies, these bashers. They're not good people. Okay, you know, we don't have anything to do with them. Okay, so let's talk the Bell deal, and then the Zone deal, which is Saturday night. Imagine Saturday night prime time at 7 o'clock Eastern. A game every week, not by TSN. They're doing 3 games a week. And probably Thursday, Friday, Sunday. But then what happens when the Thursday night games are gone and when the NFL comes? I don't know how that's going to work. And the CTV's still in the picture. Are they going to be shown? Because they should show Saturday games starting, like, I don't know, it was in early August or something last year, I believe. And they're not going to be able to do that if the Zone has the game of the, well, they feature one game of the week on a Saturday prime time every week, and they have the Grey Cup as well. So I don't know. I guess they're streaming, because they have streaming, like they have 200 and some countries they stream to apparently. So let's just see what their platform is going to be like and what their coverage is going to be like. I hope it's not like CFL Plus, because I guess that's going to go by the wayside. I don't know for sure. CBS, I hope Johnson can sign a deal with. He said he's going to, I believe, renew that. And YouTube are going to show preseason games and the Combine. Yeah, Combine, the best Canadian players don't even show up to him because they want to go to the NFL. Canadian CFL draft is an absolute joke. Same thing. Top 8 or 9 players going to the NFL. It's a joke. Get rid of the Canadian ratio. Get rid of the Canadian CFL draft and have a CFL open draft. Show some credibility and you gain some respect, and allow the best players to be recruited, best players to be drafted. Okay, not a Canadian ratio. That's what it is. CFL draft. It's a joke. The top Canadian players are all going to the NFL. They're no interest. They don't even go to the Combine. A CFL open draft. Okay. I hope, Commissioner Johnson, you're listening. Okay. Look, the old fogies like me, like, they don't want any change, right? But the younger generation and all the NFL only fans in Canada and all the sports fans in general in Canada, they don't want a Canadian race. They want to see the best Canadian. The best Canadian players that can make a CFL team, actually make it like the American players without a guaranteed Canadian ratio. Okay, because their passport that automatically gives them a roster spot. Half the team has to be with the Canadian ratio. That's got to be filled. Half the team Canadian. Doesn't matter if they have no business being on a CFL field. Well, it doesn't matter if they can make the team or not. You can't have a professional football league like that. Are you listening, Commissioner Johnson? It's an embarrassment. It's ludicrous. It's got to go. Okay? Have a CFL draft. You draft the best available players, American and Canadian, that are available, that want to play in the CFL. And so you have the best players playing at every position for entire CFL game. Just like all the other professional sports leagues, like the NFL, the NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and yes, including MLS soccer, because the Canadian teams only have like a 3 Canadian roster ratio, not half their team, and they're not forced to start them. You can't be forced to start 8 Canadian starters. And then what about injuries? They're not even good enough to even start. And then they go down. You got to put a 3rd string, another Canadian passport, Canadian racial player that there's no business being on a CFL field. A lot of the starters, like the Canadian linemen, getting all the $300,000, $250,000. That's another thing that creates a real imbalance in salaries. And the Canadian ratio is bad news for the CFL. It's destroying the CFL, killing the CFL. It's got to go. You want any credibility? You want to be perceived as a real professional 3-down football league? Allow the best available players to start and play in the CFL and get rid of the Canadian ratio. And with the best rule, but Spyder CFL Red Zone rule. Okay? Anyway, getting back to the deal, it's a $500 million deal. That's a great deal. And there's going to be more. They're going to get more money. So I don't know when they're going to deal with the Canadian ratio. That their Canadian Association collective bargaining agreement ends of 2029. But if they want to renegotiate a better deal for them, as far as what they get paid, the players in the CFL, they're going to have to open up the Canadian Players Association agreement and allow it to be revisited at the end of 2026. And I'll tell you one thing, if I was the CFL commissioner and the CFL owners, if you're going to give them any more money, the Canadian ratio's got to go. So you have some leverage, okay? So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's that for that. Although, is there anything else to add to that? I just wondering about CTV, what's going to happen in CTV, because you need a Grey Cup on CTV. But the thing is about the zone is that they have, Grey Cup's going to be, seen all around the world. Imagine, through their streaming platform. And it's on every device. And CFL Saturday Night Football is going to be shown on every device. And hundreds of countries, well, 240, I think so, around the world. I think that's what she said. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really accurate on all the information that she presented, because but I thought she had her streaming. There's 4,000 people, I guess, employed worldwide in their company, the Zone, and I guess 2,000 are engineers. So it'd be interesting how their production is, okay, what they're going to do in Canada, and who the people are going to be to promote the game and sell the game during the game and broadcast the game. No, please, listen to me, Mrs. Dion, not Arash Madani. No, because no one will watch it. You have to have all new faces. We don't need that clown, that two-faced clown, backstabber, running the CFL on the ground when he's at Sportsnet. You don't need him. No one will watch. I hope you're listening. Send that to her. Mrs. Dion, the VP of the Zone in Canada. Send what I just said. Okay? I want your comments, okay? So let's get into Halifax. Okay, let's get into Halifax. Okay, what's going on in Halifax other than the big Guess Who concert on Wednesday night? Sorry, two nights ago. I got him in a cloud. I'm still excited about him. Seriously, I mean, I just can't. I just couldn't believe how fantastic the concert was. I'm so proud to be Canadian, really. And they put the Canadian flag up. Their graphics were fantastic. I mean, their light show was fantastic. Their sound system was fantastic. They were fantastic. I mean, totally live, totally authentic, all of it. The Guess Who, that they were always like that from the beginning till now. I wonder if they're going to do one for this one. They didn't say, because in Moncton, the first night, they said, we may be back. And they were talking about a concert in 1968 in Halifax they did. My brother and I were to that concert. When Bert Cummings said, here's a new song off the Share the Land album, Hand Me Down Worm, when they were going to Montreal at the Expo 67 site, when their featured concert, and the American Woman book, there's 40,000 people there promoting the Share the Land album tour. After the big success of American Woman album that went #1 album and single around the world. Billboard, Cashbox, worldwide record sales. #1 in Germany as well. All around. It's quite a story, really. And they did a fantastic job on American, every song. Anyway, let's get back to Halifax Stadium situation. Here we go. Okay, so there's this guy from Las Vegas. He was on CTV News. And he's really young, and there's a company called, I think, Reg Haven or something like that. I forget. Reg Haven, I believe, are holding some, I don't know exactly. I'm in a cloud a bit. That's a Guess Who con. But anyway, in the fibromyalgia attack that I still have, by the way. I had to take more medication because I didn't think I could get through this, but, you know, help me with this, okay? But anyway, so this guy was on. He's very young. And I tried to Google them, do research. They have no capital. They've done no projects. And my son was optimistic, and he sent me, you know, an article, which I never read that. I've read all the other ones, but thank you, my son, for it. And so what came out yesterday, and there was a big thing on CTV local news on it yesterday, is that he said they were 1.5 billion. This young guy from Vegas, this company. There's 3 of them. And at the airport, okay, which I don't think is the greatest location at all, okay, there's pros and cons to it. If you come into the arteries, if you're coming in from the valley, you're coming into Glasgow, Truro, Moncton, PEI, whatever, even Bedford and Sackville, and so forth, it's probably okay. But what about parking and so forth? Look. Parking, you'll never have enough parking ever for a stadium. You have to have other ways of transportation. But that's the problem. But the thing is, those acres, and it was like 150 acres, imagine, near the Aerotech plant near the Halifax Stanfield Airport. Well, the land's been sold. So they were bullshitting. And it leaked out because they were talking to Commissioner Johnson, and they were talking to the mayor, radical leftist mayor Fillmore, and Houston, I guess, or premier got whiff of it, heard something about it, and said he was willing something about sewer and water out there, but it was all a bunch of bullshit, all of it, and because the land's already been sold, so they're not credible at all, and that's what I thought. And getting back to Halifax, the situation in Halifax for the stadium, there's never going to be a CFL stadium built in Halifax with these clowns down here, these radical leftists that's ruined our city with all the druggies everywhere, and drug encampments, and druggies all over the streets, and needles, and druggies, drug panhandling. I mean, they cause all this. Yeah, that coincide to promote Trudeau's crooked homeless ads, and Trudeau's still, and Carney's still giving them opioid-free drugs to the pharmacists to give to them. You know, it's a scam. And there's, by the way, all this stuff is that they're profiting on. I'm not kidding. Same with their climate change scam, con job, net zero, Carney's net zero scam, net zero projects that he's making billions of dollars off. That's a big lie. It's all a scam. All a big lie. They're profiting hugely off these scams, and they get all their crooked bought-off media in Canada that are bought off with our money, lying to the public about it every second of the day. But I don't want to get into that because I'll get really pissed off. Okay, but here's the problem in Halifax. You have a radical leftist mayor, radical leftist woke city councillors, and you have a CEO of the Halifax Wanderers that's in bed with him, and he's a radical leftist woke liberal too. And they're going to build a Mickey Mouse, 8,500 to 8,000 little permanent, it's not even a permanent, it's a modular, prefabricated little Mickey Mouse little junky thing made out of crap at the Wanderers grounds. Because in order to build a CFL stadium there, to build 22 to 24,000, okay, expandable to 30 for the whole Grey Cup. Because by the way, if you and I bought a CFL franchise and paid 12 or 15 million for it, Halifax, we'd have to have a Grey Cup. So you'd have to have a facility that you could have a Grey Cup. And you're not going to stay in business on 8,000 and 10,000 seats, okay, in the CFL. You're just not. Because the CFL is going to grow, then they're going to get more coverage, and more people, young people are going to come in the fold with the streaming, and they're all younger people are going to want to go to the games because they got to get the younger generation. So this is when they're going to happen. So and here's the problem in the Wanderers grounds. There's enough room there, but they're never the Lancers, the horses there. They want to expand another arena building for their horses. I mean, there's not enough land. And same with the Lawn Bowl, and they want to expand. They're there. They've been there forever. And then you have the Wanderers ground with the Wanderers soccer team. Derek Martin, wants a Derek Martin special just for him. That's what they're going to build there. And I guess if they could expand for the horses, the Lancers with another building, and the Lawn Bowl, and I guess they can't even go 13,000 there. The maximum they would go would be 8 probably. So it's a joke. Okay, the only way a stadium is ever going to be built in Halifax is we get Amir Kelly back, a conservative, not a radical leftist mayor or radical leftist council. People in Halifax, get with the program. You got to get these people out. Okay, and by the way, Dave Nealer was on because the commissioner of the CFL was on sports. He was on sports cage. He was on Green Zone. He was on Justin Dunk, and then Naylor was on the Green Zone and said, "Oh, Halifax, Quebec City's going to get the 10th franchise." It was Halifax, and they probably will. Halifax is only 360,000. You know what you're talking about, Naylor. You know, it's 500 now, 560,000. Okay, and growing. So get with the program, Naylor. But anyway, so Halifax, the only way a stadium is ever going to be built, a CFL team, and for Halifax, is with a new mayor that's like Peter Kelly. Peter Kelly come back from PEI and run for mayor, he'd win. And with new councillors that aren't radical leftists, okay? And it's got to realize that our city needs a bigger stadium. Look, it's okay for Derek Martin's CPL team. They're not even going to be around. Edmonton went down, Winnipeg went down, more of them are going to go down. York was up for sale. The Wanderers, they're getting less and less people. Their team is no good. They're not going to be around. They're not going to be around. So that little Mickey Mouse Stadium would be good for high school, maybe the Vanier Cup or something, the St. Mary's to play on it, but not with the size of the CFL field that is now. Maybe with if the changes go through next year, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know about that. This Halifax needs a 24 to 25,000 permanent seat stadium with all the amenities. Okay, with skyboxes. Okay, with club seats, with lounges, pubs, everything. Everything that's needed to be viable. Okay, and to be a successful CFL franchise and a successful stadium too. And it's got to be multi-purpose. It's got to, you know, and you have to have concerts. You have to have loud soccer. It'd be nice if you could have baseball, you know, or NHL, win a classic, whatever. But it's got to be sizable, and it's going to be to like permanent seats. Got to be 24 to 25,000 permanent seats with all the amenities, okay, and all the skyboxes, everything. And because that's where you need to pull in more revenue, and it's got to be designed to be temporarily expanded either permanently or temporarily for a Grey Cup game. To host the first ever Grey Cup game in Halifax would probably sell out 3 times, seriously, so you could go 30,000 plus. And an end zone that you could put a stage, okay, for the halftime show and so forth. That's what you need to have. And you could probably modestly build something for 150. Use all our own steel, all our own concrete, all our own companies, construction companies here, make it a Nova Scotia product, and go out for bid, and you could build quite a nice stadium for 150 million. They're going to spend that in the old Halifax Forum that should be torn down. That's how political it is. That's how political the city is. It's an absolute joke. I'm ashamed to be a Haligonian, really. I'm ashamed to be Canadian. As much as I'm a Canadian, and the Guess Who, I mean, you can't get any more Canadian than that. And I still use BlackBerry. You can't get any more Canadian than that. And I am very Canadian, but I'm not proud to be Canadian because our culture's been taken away from us, our country's been taken away from us, and our cities have been taken away, and our capital city, Halifax, has been taken away from us. Look at, they destroyed it. So we can only hope for change, but are we doomed, or there's a possibility for change? You can always have some hope. Let's hope and pray there is some hope down the line. But anyway, that's the thing. Other than Quebec City, here's the thing about Quebec City. The head guy of their, their football, Laval football team, he's against the CFL before because he didn't want to compete, right? But now all of a sudden, because of all this phony news in Halifax, all of a sudden they're interested again. Now they want to come back to the team. They're interested, and they could probably get money. And I know the Montreal Alouette owner would love to have him in the fold. What a rival that would be, and more money, TV money, and so forth in that market, the Quebec market. And I hope they got it built in, because this is a 6-year deal. This new Bell, the Zone and YouTube deal with $500 million deal, a TV deal and streaming deal, and YouTube deal with the CFL. Give Johnson, Commissioner Johnson, credit. I give you credit. Sir, Mr. Johnson, you did a good job, but you need my CFL Red Arm Bowl. But the thing is, and you need to call me, and you need to know everything about it, all the benefits, all the features, and why you should adopt it, wisely adopt it. It'll be the biggest rule the CFL ever adopted. You take that to the bank. But anyway, Halifax versus Quebec City. Quebec City got 780,000 people. Halifax, it's 560,000. 780 versus 560. Quebec City's a hotbed for football with the Laval team, university team. CFL will go there. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Quebec government's going to give money. They're going to probably, the university stadium, they will probably make that into a CFL stadium. Probably cut $100 million would do it, or maybe 120, and something they could expand to. to hold a Grey Cup game, because the owner would want a Grey Cup game. I think it could happen. I think Quebec, and I think Commissioner Johnson's smart enough that he would have a provision in there with his new TV deal that one of those platforms, it wouldn't be, I don't think it would be YouTube, it would be either the Zone or TSN, probably TSN, would take on those extra 9 games, right? And okay, and that would, okay, because the playoff, it didn't get into the new playoff format, right, where 8 out of 9 teams make the playoffs, sort of like the NBA thing. That doesn't make the CFL look very good. But the thing is, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays. 10th team would be a little better, because 3 don't make it now, then it'd be 2. 10 teams was what they need. I hope they have it in the new TV deal that if Quebec, because I think we'll have a 10th team before 6 years. So they must have it in the like a hidden part of it that they're not talking about, that if this was to occur, a 10th team, that there's probably provision in there that probably TSN would take the other 9 games. That's what I think probably is going to happen. And it's probably going to happen sooner than later, I'll tell you the truth. Because I really think Quebec, and Dave Naylor said this, I think they're right, Quebec City has the momentum now. Halifax, it's a joke, it's a radical leftist woke city, it's never going to happen. And these guys from Vegas, they're an absolute joke, a bunch of liars and bullshitters and not to be trusted, not one bit credible. And I told my son that, and I'm right, my son, I was right in that one. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and like all the times you have listened to my podcast, and hope you come back. Sorry I've been away. I'm going to be way more consistent. Every 2 weeks I'll be on. So I'll let you know when approximately I'm going to be on. But you'll find out my next session, and I'll tell you what I'll be doing through the summer during the CFL season, which starts next week, by the way. So I'll be on after the 8th of June. I'll be on. Okay. I'll see you then. Thanks again. Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL Red Zone Roll. And send me some comments. And thanks for all the support over the years. And I hope everybody's healthy and happy and enjoying this life that's a little tough right now financially. And let's hope that there's change, and there's some hope that this changes and we get back, and get our country back, and get some honest people running our country and our cities. Anyway, take care. God bless you. Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL Red Zone Roll.